NFL, the favorites suck.
Yeah, they're terrible. I mean, it's been a wacky season, and it just keeps on being wacky, I feel like, at this point.
The favorites have not had a week yet where they are over 500 against the spread. 7-9 this week, 32-45 on the season. Just completely atrocious so far from the favorites.
Who is solidifying themselves at this point? I mean, other than the Bills,
the Eagles.
Chiefs, Eagles. Other than that, I mean, it's really up to, anywhere. It can go anywhere.
I mean, I feel like Tampa can't be counted out because of Brady.
Yeah.
The Packers,
they look bad.
They've been looking bad.
Yeah, the Packers haven't looked great. They just lost to the Giants in London. They're favored at home against the Jets by 7.5. So we'll see how that game goes. Home teams this past week, 6-10 against the spread. So home teams normally are around 500. Didn't do so hot this week. So not really a great week for home teams. And per usual, the public getting absolutely fucking destroyed in prime time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's going to happen every week, it feels like, at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, you're calling it like it is.
0-3.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really bad. 5-11 on the year. The public is in prime time against the spread. The Colts-Broncos game last Thursday was probably the worst NFL game I've seen since the Patriots.
I mean, Vegas loves
Super Bowl.
Vegas loves misery.
Yeah.
Luckily, that's we got a good one at the Monday Night Football game. A lot of controversy at the end there, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Roughing the passer. Big headline this week.
Oh. And another big headline, Devontae Adams charged with assault.
Yeah.
He could be going to prison.
Another big headline. Big headline. Who am I? Any guesses?
I don't know.
I'm the Giants trainer.
Oh, yeah. That was an interesting.
All right, for those of you that don't know, pretty weird
scenes.
Look for the Giants on Sunday. One of their players had their pants halfway off. You could see their ass, and it kind of looked like, So,
I mean, they were doing it for the London fans. That's just some British humor.
It went all over Twitter.
That is some good old British humor right there.
Yeah, I mean, did you hear the chants?
The lads, they did not like the cheese heads.
Oh, I think we need to adopt some of the chants, like shove some fucking cheese up your ass.
No, that's a good chant.
That's
a great chant.
Yeah, Bears fans.
Yeah.
Take notes.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, they actually.
No, I mean that's excellent.
And the atmosphere in the stadium is always cool overseas. They have a Germany game coming up, so that'll be interesting.
That'll be different than the England
Those
games.
chants will be fun.
And that'll be some Mexico games. Those will be fun
too.
Yeah.
Those are always weird. The Mexico games are always
the
wacky.
Raiders.
Always something.
Always wacky. Wait, the Raiders are Mexico's team?
Yeah, they're Mexico's team.
I mean, not anymore because they're in Las Vegas.
They're still Mexico's team.
Somebody else is gonna have to become Mexico's team because the
Raiders.
They got to put a team in
It's
Mexico City.
It's got to be the Raiders.
All right, back to the.
When are they going to put a team in England?
England?
Yeah, have we talked about that?
Roger Goodell said
they're going to put teams in England.
They were going to put a team in England soon.
What? Like how many? Just one?
They said they could have two.
I think that they could do two because that stadium can hold two, like the LA model.
Yeah,
they really like those stadiums that they have, and I think Roger Goodell is like foaming at the mouth to get over there.
Probably. I mean, it's an untapped market. I just don't like 9:15 games. 6:15 on the West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That's really tough.
Yeah, that is brutal.
But they also don't want that game to run into the 1 o'clock, so you have to start it at 9:30.
Yeah.
Well, there's also games that
you could time it.
1 o'clock.
You could time it so it's played at 1. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and they don't release it. What about Twitter? Like everyone would know what happened.
No, I'm saying like it's played at a really weird hour in England, but it lines up with 1 o'clock in America.
Interesting.
And like it still is like it's in London, but it's part of the 1 o'clock slate.
So it would just be like a night game?
I guess, yeah. Do they play during the day in London right now? Yeah, it'd just be a night game. Yeah, okay. That wasn't that complicated. I was thinking it was gonna be in like the middle of the night.
No, I'm pretty sure it's just like 6-hour difference.
Oh, that's not even that much.
Yeah. So they're playing at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, just put it at night. Then they could be a part of the 1 o'clock slate.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
You should tweet at the NFL.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
I really agree with you.
I mean,
back to America.
Yeah, back to America.
The Eagles are undefeated.
Undefeated.
When are they going to lose?
Their schedule
when are they going to lose?
Easy.
They could lose Sunday night, but don't know.
Only
know.
if Cooper Rush plays.
They look like a wagon.
If Cooper Rush plays,
The Eagles will lose if Cooper Rush plays.
Undefeated.
No, that's
I don't
not,
know.
obviously
I don't
that's
know
not
about
true,
that.
but
Can't lose as a starter.
Cooper Rush undefeated as a starter, so we'll see how long that goes.
yeah.
Dak is winless on the year.
I mean, it was more like a forfeit.
He's winless.
He is winless. It's embarrassing.
I mean, this week, embarrassing. Roughing the passer was ridiculous. Like the Tom Brady call, if that was Josh Allen or like Lamar,
I mean, they did it to Mahomes
Yeah.
in that game, and they didn't call
it's
was the
a
same
little
thing.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous that roughing the passer is like
The Falcons were storming back too. I mean,
They-
that really.
I mean,
they
really
could have
all the
won.
momentum.
yeah, I don't know what would have happened in that game,
Yeah.
but it is safe to say that the Falcons weren't even given a chance.
it. No, yeah, they could have won.
Right. They probably would have driven the field. They had a lot of the momentum. So it's really interesting to see what the NFL is going to do with that. The competition committee's meeting next week, but all signs point to them not wanting to make a change during the regular season, which sucks.
Yeah.
Which really does suck.
Yeah.
So let's move on now to, our best straight bets and parlays for this upcoming week 6. We are 12-5 in prime time.
Mhm.
We fade the public on every pick, added the under last week. So that 4-0 last week in prime time makes up for the 1-4
during the other times.
during the Sunday game.
Yeah.
So we'll see how we do this week. Let's kick it off with probably the worst Thursday night game of the year.
Absolutely.
Hard
It's
to
gonna
follow up last week's
Whoa.
nightmare with another bad game. But
It might be worse.
we have the Commanders pick 'em against the Bears. Game.
Lock of
The
the
line's
week.
even. The line's even. This is Jimmy's lock of the week, so we'll let you go first. Commanders pick 'em.
I mean, I have to bet against my teams. You obviously see last time. I'm partially a Colts fan. I wanted them to win against the the Titans a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's why you're
And
still on the mask.
So here is my flip. I'm not going for the Bears. I'm going for the Commanders. Carson Wentz, he's gonna have a big game.
Jimmy.
Yeah, the Bears defense is good, but the Bears offense is not.
Yeah, 29% of the public is on the Commanders, so that's a big sign for us to
Fading the public as well.
ride with
As
the
always.
Commanders. Carson Wentz is a very valid quarterback, at
Mhm.
least stats-wise, when they're not playing division opponents.
Sure.
And he is booty when they're playing division opponents. Just this year, he's 27, 27, and 22 fantasy points in their 3 non-division games and has 8 and 9 against the Eagles and the Cowboys.
I mean, the Eagles and Cowboys just happen to have good defenses, but yeah, I see your point. That's fair.
Right. I just think Carson Wentz can't handle the pressure of division games.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not.
And he's
not
going to
built
get eaten
for it.
alive when they play the Eagles.
Absolutely.
Yeah, again.
Yeah.
He got sacked
Like,
9 times.
No,
last time.
like they're just like a far superior team. Like
Yeah.
they
The Bears,
the Commanders,
believe it or not, will not be able to get there as often
Like,
as the Eagles did.
the Commanders may sneak out one division win this year.
Yeah, but I mean, I think what could potentially make this Thursday night game a little bit better than last week's is that both these defenses are worse than the Colts and the Broncos defenses.
Right.
So, like, hopefully there's some scoring just because the defenses are bad.
Yeah, but
That
look
could
at
make
the
it kind of
Jags
fun.
Texans game.
Yeah, I mean, that was bad.
That was pretty bad.
But the Commanders usually playing more fun games. Like last week, their game was a little more competitive. Bears, same thing, because they don't really play any defense and they kind of have quarterbacks who just are, running around out there
And
trying to
throw
do their
picks.
best.
Wentz to throw one.
Yeah, 4 or 5 this
Easy.
year.
Easy.
Easy money
We'll talk about that pick.
later.
Obviously, it's coming.
Yeah.
Sunday games. We're going to start off with our first scary selection of the week. So this one is pretty major. Colts minus 2.5 against the Jaguars at home. I mean, it's they're 0-3 in the division.
They got to win one. Well, they're not 0-3.
They're
They're
sorry,
0-2
0-2-1. I do that every
Winless
time.
in the division.
Winless in the division. They really just got to get a win.
They got to go to
The
win.
team, the offense looked abysmal.
The Jaguars are on the
Last
downturn
week.
now. I mean, they had a few good weeks to start. I don't think they'll have.
The
They
Jags
looked
just lost to
horrible
the
last
Texans.
week. Horrible.
Yeah, the Jags lost to the Texans, and the Colts tied the Texans.
Yeah, so improvement.
So I mean, I I like it. I mean, we also got blown out by the Jaguars, but we're
I
gonna.
mean, it's a revenge game.
We're gonna put that in the rear view.
The
Yes,
Jaguars
but the
are
first
more-
game was a revenge game for losing.
It's a double revenge game, and it's at home this
It's
time.
a,
Finally,
it's
it's a double revenge game, and it's finally at home.
It's really tough.
Write that down. Double revenge game.
Double revenge.
Double revenge game.
Double revenge.
Double revenge.
Double revenge.
The double revenge. It's rare to see that.
Well, now Matt Ryan has to.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
the Colts
Stephon
offense.
Gilmore.
Everyone's going to be
Yannick
taking the under in
Ngakoue.
this game.
Michael Pittman.
Yeah.
Everyone's taking the under.
Is JT playing?
He didn't practice today.
It's questionable.
That's such bullshit.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
Is he hurt or what?
He didn't practice.
Yeah, but like, is it an ankle? There were so many
Same
different
ankle.
reports.
It's the same. It's the ankle.
Was it a high ankle, a
It's
low
the
ankle?
low ankle.
So it's not.
So
as
it's
bad.
not as. I mean, it's bad.
It's
but
bad. Ankle injuries are not fun.
We need to have him out there though, just for like intimidation purposes. alone.
Seriously, I
Is
mean,
Naheem Hines playing?
It just looked
he
bad.
he practiced today.
That's
Yeah.
shocking.
How?
He practiced today in a red
Tua
in a red non-contact jersey.
Tua practiced today.
Yeah, but he's not allowed to
I
play.
don't
Yeah.
think he's playing.
Apparently,
And Teddy wasn't allowed to practice,
interesting.
even though he was cleared from the concussion protocol.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Very
It's-
weird.
I mean, I will say, like, the league does seem to be trying to penalize the Dolphins. And like we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, when we said the Dolphins seem to be skirting with some rules with this concussion stuff.
Yeah,
On top of already being in a bunch of hot water for skirting a bunch of rules with
Brian Flores.
Brian Flores, obviously. So, like, I think the league might just be sticking it to the Dolphins. They do this to the Saints every, like, 3 or 4 weeks.
Dolphins are the
Well,
new
Sean
kings of
Payton's gone, so we'll
controversy.
see what happens
Yeah.
with the Saints.
New kings of controversy.
All right, so moving on to our next Sunday pick, not as scary. Seahawks plus 3.5 against the Cardinals at home. Seahawks home field advantage is legit, and Seattle's actually been competing. You know, like Geno Smith's been playing very well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to think that Russ is the problem.
I mean,
Geno does things that Russ also did. But
But sometimes better.
I don't know if better, but like he can just do everything that Wilson I thought was like amazing at doing.
It's like, wow, this is only
Right.
something that Wilson can do, but wow, Geno
Geno's
Smith
doing
can
the
do
same
it.
yeah, I
thing.
mean, Geno Smith has really impressed everyone.
Yeah. No, I mean he's been actually pretty solid, which does make me think that as I'm saying all this about Geno Smith,
He's about
That-
to have a dud.
like the worst game ever.
Yeah.
He's gonna do some
Probably.
like stupid dumb error.
It's possible. I mean, the Cardinals went toe-to-toe with the Eagles last
He
week.
did right
So-
back though.
So he didn't right
Did not right back.
The Cardinals went toe-to-toe with the Eagles. And I just think both teams, the Cardinals and the Seahawks, play to their competition. So I just see it as a close game.
I can see the Cardinals winning, but I think the Seahawks in a divisional game, they're going to keep it close.
Right. Definitely going to keep it close. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
don't think this game is getting that much attention. And so the Cardinals might be overlooking it.
Yeah, I could. I mean, it's definitely an under the radar game. Like, who really cares that much? But like,
Right.
the Seahawks are going to come to play at home,
I
and
mean,
it's a
it'll be
divisional
on-
game. Pete Carroll will get them hyped up. Old man Pete Carroll.
It'll be on Red Zone,
Yeah.
so I'll be seeing it.
Yeah. So
It's going to be high scoring.
probably the game of the week is our next pick.
Yeah.
Really, game of the week.
Game
Not
of the
problem.
year rematch from last year. Chiefs
Well, yeah.
Bills. The Chiefs are plus 3.5 at home. That's like
It's crazy.
that's a shocking line.
Tells you how good the
Mahomes-
Bills are.
Mahomes in his career is 7-0 against the spread as an underdog. 7 times
Interesting.
as an underdog is not a lot.
Not a lot. He's usually a favorite.
Yeah, 7-0 against the spread. It was probably the best game ever I've seen. Like Bills Chiefs last year, the last 2.5
Quite
minutes
literally.
were just
Yeah.
electric.
It was insane.
I just think Mahomes is really good at exposing weaknesses, and the Bills secondary really hasn't been exposed yet.
Tre'Davious
So-
White is practicing the.
Yeah, but I mean,
So
even if
I'm
he
just
plays, he's not
banking-
100%.
I'm just banking on Mahomes to find something in the film that he can exploit.
I mean, we saw this literally 2 weeks ago with the Bucks defense, which is a very, very good defense, and he literally torched them all fucking day. I mean, I don't know. Like,
Chiefs defense isn't as at that level, but I mean they're good. But
I mean, this is a massive. Like, the Bills have had this game circled on their schedule all year. Like,
Definitely, like
They're gonna-
Diggs watching
yeah.
the celebration. Like,
No, the
I don't know
Bills
if he did that
want
last-
this bad.
That was 2 years ago when they lost the AFC Championship.
That was 2 years ago. I feel like he
Yeah.
stayed on the field last year too.
Nah, I'm
Yeah.
not sure about that, but because it wasn't the AFC Championship, that was just the
No, I know,
divisional.
but like the Chiefs were still like on the field, like celebrating.
Yeah, he probably did.
There wasn't like a grand,
If you look in his
trophy presentation.
if you get an X-ray of him, there's like a lot of dog in him. So
Oh,
there's that.
wow.
That's why.
Wow.
He's
Okay.
gonna have a day.
A lot of dog in it.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair
that's
enough.
fair. So moving on, Sunday Night Football, Eagles Cowboys division matchup. We don't know if Dak is playing or not.
I don't think he's gonna play.
Doesn't change our pick.
Another top tier game in my opinion.
Eagles are minus 5.5, 32% of the public at home against the Cowboys. We're obviously fading the public in prime time, who get hammered every single
Mhm.
week. We're 12-5 on the year in prime time, so everyone's like really high on the Cowboys defense and Cooper Rush, and like the Eagles, the undefeated team, are almost being
Overlooked.
treated-
Yeah.
Right. They're not being treated as the undefeated team in the NFL right now, which is why I think they're going to keep winning until they get their respect.
Yeah, and I mean, Cooper Rush, like I think if you give him the right game script, he can be like fine.
Right.
But the Eagles have just like a lot more scrap to them. I don't know, like they're just the best team the Cowboys have played since the Bucks.
Yeah.
And we saw like the Bucks were able to score on the Cowboys defense, and we saw how much the Cowboys offense struggled against a good defense.
Yeah.
So
I think the most underrated part of the Eagles is their O-line. I mean, they're all just working as a group, and they're all so good. Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, Kelsey in the middle. I mean, they have some dogs.
oh yeah. And their running game was good too.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
I just don't see this as a 5.5. Like the Eagles should be getting a touchdown, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it could end up being a really close game. Like, it's a
Right.
divisional game.
That's true.
But yeah, I agree. Like people always overhype the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess they've been backing it up the past few
Right,
games.
but like I could see it as kind of like a Chiefs-Bucks final score. Like that's covering 5.5, and it's still a good game,
Yeah.
like a close matchup. But like I think the Eagles are covering this 5.5 at home, especially if the public continues to fade them.
Yeah, and I think it being at home is important because Cooper Rush hasn't been rattled yet. But if he's
Right.
going to be, it's going to be on the road in
In
Philly.
Philly.
Yeah,
Those
that'll be a
fans are
tough
gonna be-
atmosphere. It'll be tough.
Wow, those fans are going to go after Cooper Rush. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, I mean, so is that defense.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, he's going to have it'll be tough sledding for him.
Yeah, it's going to be a gritty matchup for sure.
Good divisional game.
Another maybe gritty matchup. Team getting a lot of heat, playing Monday night with their fourth primetime game of the year.
Just
Already
crazy.
in week 6. Somebody thought they were going to be like a top 5 team in the NFL.
It's got to be. You got to blame the coach in there. I mean, it's been bad to start.
That being said,
Russ is not. been
let's
great.
ride Broncos country.
Let's absolutely ride.
Yeah, we're going to fade the public as we always do here. Plus 5.5. People really hate the Broncos right now. I hate the Broncos right now, but their defense is performing really, really well.
Yeah.
I ascertain.
And the
It's-
offense, that's where everyone thought they were going to be strong coming into the year. So you would really think at some point that's going to click. So for me, I just don't really see.
I mean, Russ is hurt now.
Right,
You see that report?
Russ
Something,
is hurt.
there's something with the shoulder.
It's banged up.
Russ.
Mr. Unlimited.
Right, he had the surgery because he's been playing like
Who's their
dog
backup?
shit.
Who's their backup anyway?
Who's Russ's backup? God, it can't be
Let me
anyone.
look
Probably
that up.
someone bad.
It really can't be anyone. All right, so while you're looking that up, we're going to move on to our easy money lay for this week. We got the Bucks money line at the Steelers, the Packers money line against the Jets, and the 49ers money line against the Falcons. All playoff teams playing non-playoff teams.
Mhm.
It's really just Brett Rippon
Brett Rippon.
is Russ's backup.
That's something.
Yeah,
He's a player.
He's a guy.
Brett Rippon is pretty solid. I just don't
He's a dude.
think. I just don't really think the Broncos are going to be able to ride with Brett Rippon.
No,
Yeah, me neither. I think it's mostly Russ that their hopes are leaning on.
Broncos
I mean, I
country.
like this parlay here though. The
It is a
Steelers are
good
dog
parlay.
shit. The Jets are the ones that scare me a little bit.
The Jets scare you. I mean, the Jets have been overachieving this year.
I mean, they're a little feisty. They got little puppy dogs on them. Maybe not
Yeah.
full-grown dogs, but little puppy dogs.
Speaking of dogs, our hungry dogs lay. We got the Seahawks money line against the Cardinals. Jimmy, what? We got the Seahawks money line against the Cardinals, the Chiefs money line against the Bills, and the Giants money line against the Ravens for plus 1271. And speaking of dogs, the hungry dogs run faster.
We got a little hungry dog right here.
We got a hungry dog.
He hasn't eaten in weeks.
No, he's eating.
That's a joke. That's a joke.
We
He ate a
feed
couple
him.
weeks
He's
That's
fed.
a joke.
He's
a
fed.
couple weeks ago.
He's fed. He's fed.
Yeah.
Consistently. But Seahawks money line against the Cardinals, Chiefs money line Bills, Giants money line Ravens. We just really like all these teams. The Chiefs have been playing really well. The Bills, obviously, everyone's liking them because it's a revenge game, but Mahomes is the underdog, is really solid. And the Giants have been surprising a lot of people, 4-1, and I think they're going to continue to surprise some people.
Their
We
first
talked about the Seahawks a little earlier.
Yeah. I mean, the Chiefs against the Bills, like, that's an upset, but, like, is it really? Like, I know it is, but, like, they beat them last year. Like, that happened just in the last playoffs.
Bills did stack up, but I mean, I still think it'll be a really close game.
I think it is going to be a really solid game. And this parlay plus 1271.
Yeah, you're going to
We already hit a Hungry Dogs lay this year, so
Anything can happen,
anything can happen, really.
Anything
especially
can
if you got
happen.
the hungry dog with us.
Yeah. So now we're going to move on to our best same game parlays for this week. We got 4 winners for you. First is going to be Vikings plus 6.5 at Dolphins and over 39.5. I just like the Vikings to win this game, so I'm going to take them at plus 6.5, especially if Teddy isn't practicing or
I'm
playing.
pretty sure, like, Skylar Thompson is playing for the Dolphins.
A rookie from Kansas State.
Yeah,
Right,
that guy,
so-
whoever that is.
And I like the over to hit in this game because I think the Vikings could put up close to it themselves.
I
So-
agree.
That's fair.
I think the Vikings could go put up 35-ish points. So-
Justin Jefferson might put up 35 points.
and you can
himself.
expect the Dolphins to score a touchdown. We're not going to see like a Bills Steelers game from last week.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope that's this. I mean, Tyreek and Waddle are supposed to play, so as long as they've got all their skill position guys, I think Skylar Thompson get a couple touchdown drives in.
Yeah, I mean,
McDaniel will know what to do with his skill players.
he always
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
He really
Even
does.
with
I think
Skylar
he was probably one of the least talked about hires heading into the season, and he's been impressing.
Oh yeah,
One of the
He's been
most. Like
great.
him and Brian Dable are probably up there for Coach of the Year,
oh yeah,
and Nick Sirianni.
New coach.
yeah.
Even though
What about Hackett?
He's
he's not eligible for
worst
anything.
coach of the year.
Hackett's not up for anything. He doesn't deserve any awards. So next we got the Colts plus 8.5 against the Jags and the under 50.5 at minus 150. So for this play, we like the Colts minus 2.5. So we're going to take them at the plus 8.5 and the under 50. Neither of these teams are offensive powerhouses. The
No.
Colts.
And both defenses are pretty good.
Yeah, and the Colts held the Broncos to 9 points last week.
Yeah.
So I think they can do pretty well against
And the
Jags.
Jaguars held the Texans to 9 points too.
No, 13.
Or sorry, 13.
13. But for that I mean, this under is
Yeah.
looking pretty good. I think
Jaguars have a good unit on defense.
we're going to keep taking Colts unders for a
no
while.
really star
Yeah.
players on their defense other than Josh Allen, but they play really hard.
They do play really hard.
They play
Speaking
really
of
hard.
Another team that plays really hard, the Saints. But we're going to go ahead and fade them with the Bengals plus 7.5.
Saints might be in shambles here.
No, they've got Taysom.
Taysom Hill is one
He's
of
the Mormon
most-
connection.
He is so annoying, Taysom Hill.
No.
He is so annoying.
He's incredible.
He had the same amount of touchdowns as Kelsey and
Yeah.
less receiving yards.
No, he had more touchdowns. than
Oh,
Kelsey.
more
No.
He had
Kelsey
four.
had
Kelsey
4
had
as
four.
well.
He had 4 receiving touchdowns.
No, he had
Taysom
3
Hill had 4
rushing.
touchdowns.
3 rushing, 1 passing.
Kelsey had 4 rushing.
4
4 receiving.
Yes.
Wow.
But they have the same amount of touchdowns. They're both listed as tight end.
Mm-hmm.
And Taysom Hill had less receptions. And
I mean,
less
I don't think
yards.
enough people are talking about Taysom Hill potentially being the best tight end in the league.
He's probably the
He's a
best.
touch-
I don't think
machine.
enough people are. I think enough people are
He's
talking.
the best.
What do you
Mormon
mean?
tight end in the
I
league.
think plenty of people are talking about it.
He's the best
Who?
BYU
No
tight
one.
end.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
plenty.
I think a lot of people should be talking about what Taysom Hill is doing.
Like,
It's
yes,
incredible.
Taysom Hill scores
He's
touchdowns.
doing the Wildcat like he's Ronnie Brown.
He is running around.
No, Ronnie Brown
Ronnie Brown.
on the Dolphins.
Yes, I
Ricky
remember against the
Williams.
Patriots and
Yeah.
they won that game.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
right.
big time win.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what Taysom Hill does, like 3 to 4 times a year, and then he doesn't do anything the rest of the game.
right, and then everyone picks him up in fantasy, and then he doesn't do
I
anything
picked
for
him up
3
in
weeks.
fantasy.
Everyone picks him up in fantasy. He doesn't do anything for 3 or 4 weeks. Everyone drops him, and then he does something again.
No.
So it's like it's the Taysom Hill like
Circle of life.
yeah, that we're going through right now.
Well, guess what happens when Andy Dalton gets hurt?
Taysom's the QB.
Yeah, and then he becomes incredibly valuable again.
That'll happen after 3 or 4 weeks of nothing.
They didn't want Ian Book as QB3. They wanted Taysom.
Taysom.
Oh, yeah.
He is Taysom.
I don't understand why they don't just toss him in there. Andy Dalton sucks. That Ginger Rocket.
He isn't good.
What was his nickname? It was Ginger
The
something.
Red
Rocket.
The Red Rifle.
Red Rifle. I was going to say Red Rocket, but that would be not a good nickname.
So our final same game parlay this week, we got the Rams money line against the Panthers and the over 34.5. The Panthers just fired Matt Rule. So DJ Moore, fantasy owners, congratulations.
Rejoice.
But the over 34.5 Rams, I think this is pretty easy. Bet right here at minus 145. It's just the Panthers are god awful, and the Rams can really use this as a bounce back game. 34.
They should destroy them.
21-17 hits this over and hits this parlay. So that's what we're going to go with, the Rams money line against the Panthers in the over 34.5.
That one seems like an easy one.
Yeah, so moving on now to our player props. Bounce back week, still yet to come for you after that 1-11.
I've been bouncing back. I've been going about 500. That's a bounce back.
Right, but we gotta have this 11-1 week at some point.
Yeah, I've been waiting on that one for a couple of years now.
Look,
upwards of 5.
It's bound to happen. We're gonna get. How many picks do you have this week?
I believe 25.
25 picks. All right, if we can win.
We can get 15 of them. 15 of them.
15.
I was gonna say let's shoot for like 17.
That's a
wow.
That's a lot.
Woo!
I know. Let's
That'd
have
be
a good
crazy.
week.
That'd
Let's
be
have
crazy.
a good week. 21-34 on the year, 17 and what would it be? 8? Yeah, 17 and 8 would really get you back.
Yeah, that'd help.
And
I wouldn't be back.
You'd be closer to
I'd
500
be closer
than you
to
are
500.
now.
He's back.
But see, this is honesty right there.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd
we're
put it
showing
right
the
up
people.
there.
We're showing the people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's you are also putting time out for the 1-11 weeks.
Yeah, and other than that, like, okay,
it's
like
been
I'm basically
partially
500
excused.
other than that week.
Basically.
Like 2 under. Like, that's not even that bad.
I know, but it's like that week happened.
Yeah, but not really.
Right. It's in the rearview mirror.
It's past
It's
us.
gone from our memories.
It's gone.
Yeah. So after this week, you'll
Forget
see
about it.
you'll see a nice.
Forget about it.
First of all, you'll see 2 things after this week. A lot more numbers in this
I
year.
might have 40 wins.
If you can win 19 games this week,
That'd be
that would be
electric.
awesome.
That would put me at 500.
I'll put you at 500.
I went 19-6.
Yeah, so that's the goal.
Let's
19.
go through these picks.
So we're gonna go through these 19 winners.
Yeah, let's see what they are.
We're gonna find them.
We're
they're
gonna
here.
find them.
They're here.
There's
We'll
someone.
start with the past.
They might be the reverse of what I'm saying, but there's 19 winners here.
Yeah. So take these picks with a grain of salt. Are you
Yeah.
fading yourself yet? No, you went
not
6
yet.
and 6.
Not
You
yet.
went
Not
6 and
yet.
6.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've taken this player the last 3 weeks. Did he hit last week?
No, I didn't take Brisket last week.
Oh, I thought you did. Okay.
I've had him before though. I think in the other direction.
Right. You had.
But now we're flipping it back.
Now you're bailing.
We're going this way and that way. We're going this way.
You're bailing. I'm
Going this way.
And not that way.
Yeah, and it's pretty simple while I'm bailing on him.
Because he sucks. No, he
Not
doesn't.
really.
I'm sorry.
He's been kind of good.
They don't throw.
He runs.
They don't throw.
I think it's honestly pretty simple. Bill Belichick drafted Jacoby Brissett. So he knows like why he drafted him, like what he's good at and what he's bad at. He's going to devise a game plan to shut this guy down.
Fair.
Like that's all I'm thinking. And on top of that, just like numbers wise, like 12.5 doesn't seem like a lot until you realize
It is when
his
the Browns run the ball 30 times a game.
yeah, and his season average, he's averaging 212 yards on the season.
They are absolutely riding the Chubb train.
So like yeah, like I don't know. I don't see him throwing for 200 yards. If they win, I think it will be because Nick Chubb ran over the Patriots, not because Jacoby Brissett
Right.
torched them.
I mean, we thought the Lions were going to pass all
Yeah.
over the Patriots.
They got
last
shut
week,
down.
and that doesn't seem like an option. So
Yeah.
I like the under. This is one of the first unders you've taken on the
I know.
season. So we're kind of switching
I'm
it
sneaking
up.
them
There
in.
are a few more unders in this passing yards.
Yeah,
stat
I'm
category.
sneaking
So
them in.
Next up, There are like 6 Kirk Cousins in the NFL, but we're taking the real Kirk Cousins.
I'm taking the real Kirk Cousins.
The real Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, and it's I hate this pick. I hate Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
I hate him. I think he's bad. I think he's horrible.
He is like older Carson Wentz.
But here's the thing about Kirk Cousins. He's like a broken clock. You know exactly when he's going to be right. And it's going to be at 1 p.m. on Sunday. He's going to be right on 1 p.m. on Sunday. He's going to play a good game, and he is going to toss the rock all over the place.
I feel like Kirk Cousins owns the 1 p.m.
He might. He just might.
Like
he might be
in
owner.
In a week, if he balls out and hits this over, you're going to be able to look up who owns the NFL Sunday slate at 1 o'clock.
And it's going to be Kirk Cousins.
It's going to say Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, and Kirk Cousins averages around 265 yards a game, and he's playing a Dolphins defense that got gashed by the Jets just last week, and they're frankly just like not that amazing. So I see Kirk, tossing it all over the yard, feeding Jefferson. He's going to have a good week.
Absolutely.
Kirk is top notch.
At 1 p.m.
Always, yeah. He's probably top 5 at 1
Always.
p.m.
I'm not one
It's
of
not
the.
like he's going to win the game, but he's going to put up numbers.
I'm not a Kirk Cousins hater, but I'm not.
Well, I'm a hater. I hate Kirk Cousins.
I think he's hilarious.
Like, thing with Kirk is like I love him, but I hate him, but I love him.
Yeah.
Like he's the type of player that probably works a lot. You never hear anything about him in the media.
Yeah.
And yet somehow feels like the pressure in prime time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he feels the pressure in prime time. I think he's just bad.
Well, that's like feeling the pressure if he's good at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, but it's just like the time of the day. I mean, he's kind of old.
The time of the day.
It's not
Is
bad.
it past his bedtime?
No, but
we
I don't
thought
know.
that was for Brady. We thought
No,
He's 31.
he's a Midwestern guy. I don't know.
we
Like,
thought prime time was past Tom Brady's bedtime, and it's clearly not.
I don't know. Just Kirk Cousins. He's a Midwestern guy. Like, once it gets around to 8:30,
I need my milk on.
he wants to go to sleep. He just wants to lay
He's
down,
34 years
put
old.
some steaks with some tinfoil on a grill. Nothing better.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think he can do it at 8:30, but I think he can do it at 1 o'clock.
yeah. What do you think about this guy playing at 8:30?
Okay, so another disgusting one. Makes me want to throw up in my mouth.
Is he even going to attempt more than 25 passing?
Who
I
knows?
mean, the last time the Bears played in prime time, Justin Fields had 11 pass attempts.
Yeah, it was bad.
Was that
But-
against the Steelers?
It was
No,
against,
the Packers.
Packers.
But
Why are they in
But-
prime time again?
Because every team gets.
I think they're the last game. But last week I bet on Russell Wilson. And the Broncos played horrible, but he hit his passing over
in OT.
in OT.
I don't know if this game will go to OT.
I needed something to bet on in the Thursday night game because I'm going to watch it regardless.
I'm not. I'm not.
I'm probably still going to watch this game.
I'm not. I'll be watching the Yankees.
165.5 is so low. The Commanders have a bottom 5 pass defense in the league. And it's not like Fields can't throw the ball. Like he has 174 yards and 208 yards in the last 2 games. Like 165.5, like that is just you can get that by accident.
It's true. You can. Honestly, it's really not that
Like,
hard.
just through dinking
he
and
just has
dunking.
to throw like 20 something.
That's what I'm
passes.
saying. Like,
Like I really don't think it's going to be that hard for Justin Fields to hit this over as long as he hits the attempts.
yeah, as long as they let him throw.
Yeah, we're
Which
gonna
they
ride
should
it.
because the Washington Commanders have a bad
Commies.
secondary, but an okay rushing defense.
Commies.
Commie vibes.
We have the commies, but we like Justin Fields. I mean, I guess this game is going to be all right.
I think
It's
there
gonna
could be
a shit
some.
show.
There could be some scoring, be some entertainment.
It'll be
Some
entertainingly
scoring,
bad.
some entertainment.
Yeah,
Entertainingly bad.
in
And-
small
and
doses
honestly,
and manageable doses.
Anything is better than what we saw last
Yeah,
week.
last week-
As long as there's a touchdown, I'll be happy.
I agree.
I'm going to have this game.
I
on-
wish I bet no touchdown last week.
Yeah, plus 8,000.
That would have been a horrible game to watch, though.
Yeah, it was.
Either way, I guess. Yeah.
The thing about the primetime games, we're going to fade the public, but it kind of doesn't work like that with the player props. You kind of just got to go with the gut. That's why I like Fields there. Like,
Well, and I feel like
I
people
think they're
think
going to
he
have to
sucks.
throw. I think they're going to have to throw.
Yeah.
They have a good
They're
rushing
really just not good enough.
Commanders have a good rushing
And they
defense,
seemed
not
like
bad
they
defense.
opened up the playbook like a little bit last week,
Right.
like the
A little
tiniest bit.
Cole Kmet got a little bit more involved.
Darnell Mooney, one-handed grab.
Yeah,
Great
that was a good
Wow.
catch. I mean,
He's being
Fields
free.
can throw it.
Yeah. It's
They
just
just
they have
don't
to
let
let
him.
him.
Yeah, they just have to let him do it.
Right.
Let him get confident.
Kind of a running quarterback. Next. Marcus Mariota, the former Heisman.
Former Oregon Duck. And I love me some Mariota. But not this week and not against the 49ers.
Mm.
He's been horrible the last 2 weeks. He has, just take a guess, does he have more than 150 yards passing in one of the last 2 weeks?
I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it's no because you're asking me that.
Yeah, I mean, it's 139 and 147.
He got close. He was this close.
See, but
I mean,
that's
that's
the kind of
terrible.
thing where this makes me think that Vegas knows something about this game. If he's thrown that low the past 2 weeks,
But they're playing against a better defense than they played, arguably, or at least the same caliber. As
yeah,
last
but they
week.
might have to throw more.
They had to throw a lot last week. He can't do it. He can't do
Would
it.
he have hit his over last week if they had that final drive?
He would have had to
If
get.
Tom Brady wasn't roughed.
He would have had to get another like 30 yards. Maybe. But that's like,
it could have happened. It could not have happened.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just think he sucks and he just probably should get benched at this point for Ritter. So I'm just going to keep benching his under. Betting his under. He sucks.
You're gonna keep benching his over.
Yeah.
We'll make
That
that
was a
thing.
whole-
You're benching the over.
Yeah, I'm benching
That
the
is
over.
true.
I
You
am
are
benching the over.
You are
It's
benching it.
awesome, too.
Yeah.
You're not benching the over on Kyler though.
No. And this has a lot less to do with Kyler and a lot more to do with the Seahawks' terrible defense. I mean, we've seen the last 2 weeks. They let the Lions go to a full-on shootout 2 weeks
And the
ago,
Lions got blown out
Yeah.
against the Patriots.
which was interesting to see. And then we saw Taysom Hill, who we already talked about last week. The Seahawks don't really play any defense, so I think Kyler's going to just chuck it all over the yard. It's going to be a nice bounce-back spot for him as well.
Yeah.
I like them. I like them this week. Is it a double XP weekend?
I don't think so.
Yeah, then we're good. Even better.
We need to get a Call of Duty expert.
Yeah,
That's you.
that should be
I
you.
don't play Call of Duty.
But you're the expert.
Yeah, you can look it
I'm
up.
the expert.
On to the rushing yards.
Yeah, and I love my first pick.
I love your first pick too.
Yeah.
He's starting on my fantasy team this week.
This guy's awesome. I mean,
Did you
There's
see
a-
what he ran out to?
yeah, many men.
Yeah.
That's fire.
It was great.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Man.
this guy's a beast. He got shot
Man.
twice, and he's just like out there,
I know.
got the
Got
job
hit
back.
in the leg that he got
And I didn't
shot.
even realize this guy went to Alabama. He's been there for like 4 years. He was there at the same time as like Josh Jacobs, Damian Harris, Najee, other people.
He's good.
Yeah, but like just I don't know, just pretty random. I didn't
Yeah.
even know he existed. But whatever, now he's starting. And most importantly for him is that he is playing the horrible Bears defense.
On Thursday Night Football, it's a chance for him to showcase.
Oh yeah. And I think they're gonna feed him. And
Man.
the last 2 weeks we've targeted the running back who's playing against the Bears and it's hit.
Man. Wish that phone hit. He's a dog.
No more official new rule on the podcast. No more singing or rapping from Jimmy.
Fine. But he is going to absolutely
Official
ball
rule.
against the Bears. I think he just
Put it in the
has.
rule book.
He's got something in the back of his mind. He's like, I'm ready to go. I want to showcase everything I can do on the national stage, just like what he did at Alabama, and he's gonna have a day.
He is a chip.
He's got
I
a
guess
chip
he
on
does
his
have a
shoulder.
chip. No.
He plays with a chip.
A
He was
national
overlooked for
championship.
4 years.
He has a national championship.
5-star recruit coming
National
out.
champ. I'm talking about a chip on his
Oh,
shoulder.
okay.
He was overlooked for 4 years with all these studs playing in Alabama.
Despite
And finally
probably
gets his
being a
shot.
5-star
He was a
recruit.
5-star
Right.
recruit.
And now he's playing. Now he's in the NFL, overlooked again with 2 other running backs ahead of him. He got shot in the leg twice, and now here he is back, and he's gonna rush for at least 48 yards this week.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, another guy we like,
Mr. Lenny Fournette.
regular season Lenny.
Yeah, I mean, he's been good.
Yeah, it's been very
He really has been good, and I like.
And you know
the
who's been
Patriots.
bad? The Steelers. And that's who he's playing. They've been fucking horrible. So he's going to run all over them.
He really is. Tom Brady's thrown 100 passes in the last 2 weeks, so I think they're going to start relying on Fournette a little more.
His arm might fall off,
He is 45 years old.
but he's divorced.
Throwing
Soon to be divorced.
He's focused. He's
throwing over 100 passes in 2 weeks. Like, that is a lot.
That's called justifying. That's called overcompensating when you're getting divorced.
They have to run the ball more if they want to.
Yeah, and then they're probably going to be winning. They're going to be winning. That's what I'm really thinking here is they're just going to grind out the clock with Leonard Fournette.
Probably so.
63.5 isn't even that much. I mean, I guess he's been getting a lot of receiving work, but hopefully he gets some more touches.
On the ground will be nice.
Yeah.
63.5 receiving or rushing yards.
It's not that many.
No, but moving over to receiving yards. Another guy, not that many, hit this on one catch last week.
Yeah.
On two different catches, I'm pretty sure.
On the first play, third play from scrimmage, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it was basically right away. And, yeah, this one's really simple. I think that the Bills and the Chiefs are going to be a lot of points. A lot of points. Up and down the field. Going this way, going that way, going back this way.
And he's shown that he can torch this defense.
Yeah, and they don't really have any other receivers. Like, McKenzie might be back. They have this rookie guy, Shakir, whatever his name is.
Khalil
Shakir.
That guy. But, like, Gabe Davis is good. I also, spoiler alert, have Stephon Diggs also. I just think that
They're not going to be able to guard all these guys. That's the problem. And I think they can also both go over. Also, I think if Dawson Knox plays, he can also go over.
Yeah.
Dawson Knox. I like Dawson Knox. He kind of was good for me last year on my fantasy team, and we'll see if he can come back. But moving on. Weekly pick, Cooper Kupp. He's pretty solid. He wasn't that great last week, even though he was good.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see very many Cooper Kupp plays. But I like him this week. What do you think?
Yeah, I like Cooper Kupp a lot, and he still has 100-plus yards in 4 out of 5 games. So it's not like he's playing, like, terrible. He's still getting the job done. And I like him to get his yards and a touchdown again in this game because he's playing against the sorry Panthers. And they just fired their coach.
They're in shambles.
Yeah, and the Rams, this is a get-right spot for them. They need to destroy the Panthers to show they're still, a playoff upper echelon team. So, yeah.
I like the Rams this week. I think Stafford's a viable fantasy play this week against an abysmal Panthers defense.
Mm-hmm.
And Cooper Kupp is going to be, relied on in the Rams to bounce back. You saw last week they tried to go to Kupp a lot, and they really just didn't play well against the Cowboys.
He still got it.
Yeah, we had them -5.5, but as I said, he didn't have any major explosive plays.
Yeah, he did. He had a 75-yard touchdown.
Right, but from Cooper Kupp, you're expecting in the fourth quarter, he's got to go get the ball.
That's true. That's fair. Fair.
I think he's shown he's a pretty clutch player.
He just didn't come through in the fourth quarter of that
That's
game.
fair.
They needed that drive at the end of the game to tie it.
Yeah, and they couldn't get it done.
And Stafford got sacked, I feel like 3 times.
Yeah.
And, easily could have just thrown a screen to Kupp and let him try and create.
Yeah, and he just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, they really couldn't get it done. You mentioned earlier you're taking Diggs this week. His over is 85.5.
Yeah, pretty big number, but I mean, like I said, I just think these guys are going to go off. And with the Chiefs, it's harder for me to bet just because they have a bunch of random guys.
Yeah.
Like Kelsey had 4 touchdowns with 25 yards.
Right.
How's that even possible? But with the Bills, it's a little bit more of a funnel. Like they're throwing it to a couple of guys here. I'm pretty confident that Diggs is going to get 10-plus targets. He is also basically locked to go for 100 and a touchdown too.
Yeah, and I think Josh Allen is probably going to throw for 250-plus yards. So
I think he's going to throw for 400.
Like those yards have to go somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the yards have to go somewhere. So Diggs and Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Davis.
Good pick. There goes Davis.
Yeah.
Come on.
So then moving on to Hollywood Brown. This is kind of the last viable Hollywood Brown week.
Yeah, I mean, we're about to get D-Hop back.
But that'll be a scary duo, honestly. That'll be fun to see.
Yeah, but for this week, he's gone 10-plus targets in the last 4 games. He's gone 75 yards plus in the last 3 games. Just keep the good times rolling. Not playing anybody scary. He's playing the Seahawks. Right. Their defense sucks.
Yeah,
I already said that I like Kyler.
It's an easy matchup for the offense.
I mean, this is 175-yard
touchdown. +3.5.
Yeah, which is fine. I'm just saying I could easily see Hollywood and Kyler connecting for a 70-yard bomb.
Right, but you could say that about anybody.
Yeah,
You could say
but
that
especially against the Seahawks and the wacky games they play.
Right. You
Like,
could say that about like
the line-
Amari Cooper and
Like TJ Hawkinson had 100+ yards and 2 TDs last week.
That's true.
2 weeks ago against
Right,
the
2 weeks
Seahawks.
ago. Yeah.
That was without Amon-Ra. I don't know. I just feel like the Seahawks defense doesn't really scare me.
Not at
Right.
all.
They're making everybody look good.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
And Geno Smith looks good. He's
Yeah.
practicing against them.
yeah, exactly. That's very fair.
Yeah. Chris Godwin came back. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
He's been back the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, so 2 weeks ago, Godwin came back. He's kind of getting right now.
Mhm.
You like his over at 62.5.
Yeah, and it's kind of similar to like the Lenny thing. It's just a get right spot. The Steelers suck. It's only 62.5. That's not a really high number. Last week he only played half the snaps, had 6 catches, 61 yards.
Right.
If he just plays more or, helps them get out to a really big lead, I think he's going to get this pretty easily.
Yeah, I just think he's going to be relied on for Brady. Like you saw Russell Gage kind of lose some targets this past week. Perriman was out. So Godwin is the guy.
And
Julio
Mike
ha-
Evans.
Yeah, Julio has been practicing.
Julio's never going to play.
Julio.
He's done.
Right. So I think Chris Godwin is the guy in Tampa. I like him over Evans, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, Evans is more of a red zone threat, but that's why I'm not taking Godwin for a touchdown. 1 is yards.
Right. You just don't want to risk, that vulture touchdown at the end of the game or
Yeah.
even throughout the game, which is totally possible.
Exactly.
So moving on, we got your scary selection this week. David Njoku, over 43.5 yards. I mean, explain yourself.
Yeah, I mean, he's been quietly pretty good the last 3 weeks. He has 89, 73, and 88 yards. And New England's defense is bottom 5 against tight ends. That, to me, sounds kind of like a recipe for success for David Njoku.
Yeah.
He's getting more targets. He's averaging 7.5 targets, getting 6.5 catches the past 3 games. Like, he's actually getting targeted by Brisket. And if anything, he's kind of like their wide receiver 2 behind Amari.
Right. And Amari kind of struggles because the entire defense game plans for him.
Yeah, and Njoku's kind of an athletic freak type guy.
Right.
He can bust open a couple of big plays here. I think, like I mentioned, the Patriots' tight end defense isn't very good.
However, they did lock up TJ Hawkinson last week, so that's probably why it makes this a little bit more scary.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, and why I want to say that it's scary is because I'm walking a bit of a tightrope act. Going Brisket's under, Njoku's over.
That's true.
Right.
Because, yeah.
So that's kind of
That's maybe why I'm
You're
below
hedging.
fi-
You're
that's,
hedging.
that's maybe why I'm below 500 on the
well. You even bet against yourself.
Yeah,
This is kind of a contradicting bets.
but they could both hit.
They could
Very
both
true.
hit.
Yeah.
I like.
I'm
both.
just hoping that Brisket, he only has eyes for Njoku. That's what I'm hoping.
You want to know what I'm hoping?
What?
I'm hoping that our good pal Carson Wentz throws his weekly interception.
Yeah, I mean, he's done it 4 out of 5 times.
It's my favorite bet.
Our
Yeah.
favorite
And
pastime.
he made us wait almost till the very
Yeah.
end last week.
Yeah.
And then he threw literally 3 passes in a row that should have been intercepted
Yeah.
until the third one was
He
intercepted.
was just waiting for one to happen.
He wanted to reward the fans for betting that.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
felt like we
Right.
deserved
I
it.
mean, we do deserve it. We deserve a 30-30 season. He's
No.
not on pace.
No. He needs to. Those are rookie numbers.
Amp up those interceptions. I had Carson
to get
Wentz
those
last
numbers
week
up.
in fantasy. I played him. I know I hate him, but
I mean, he
played
played
him in
pretty well.
fantasy, and he did play pretty well. But I'm not playing him this week because at some point he's gonna have a 4 or 5 interception game.
Oh, yeah. Or at least turnover game
Right, and I just need.
to avoid that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I need him not
Yeah,
to be
get
on my
those
team
numbers
when that
up.
happens. His numbers have been pretty solid in the non-division games, as we said earlier. But non-division game against the Bears,
He could play well.
He's gonna
That's
ball
what you're
out,
saying.
but it's going to be a terrible game.
he
But
could
he-
ball out and he could throw some to the Bears.
Yeah,
Some, not just one. Some.
hopefully.
Moving on to players to score a touchdown this week, either rushing or receiving. Could be either or, could be both.
Yeah.
Hopefully not
Philly
neither.
special would count.
Yeah, Philly special would count.
Absolutely. For our first guy here.
So this is a new weekly.
It's basically weekly until it hits.
Yeah. Lamar's gonna score.
I don't know why he's not scoring.
He's gonna rush the ball into the end zone at some point.
Yeah. Look, Jeter is hungry for it.
Yeah, I mean, we're not on the hungry dogs, but
I mean, we
Lamar
might as well
runs
be.
faster.
We might as well be. He needs to get a touchdown this week for my fantasy team and for this bet.
Yeah. Oh, Lamar on the fantasy team, major conflict there.
Conflicts of interest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Major conflict.
Who knows?
Yeah, but hopefully he can get into the end zone this week.
I think he will. And once he does, then I can stop maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
No, you're not going to.
I don't think
Speaking
so.
of
Probably
fantasy
not.
team,
Yeah.
we got another fantasy guy from Ethan's team. Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, I mean, Deebo Samuel is a beast. That's basically all there is to say.
Yeah, he had 9 targets last week, 2 receptions. Hopefully those receptions will go up.
He's the best utility player in the entire NFL.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's more that he's playing the Falcons.
Right.
Their defense is bad. He needs to get in the end zone. He's hungry for the end zone.
I would love for him to get in the end zone.
And I think he will.
Yeah, we're in agreement there. I mean,
Yeah.
Deebo's got to get in the end zone. And if we all agree he's getting in the end zone, you know what that means, right?
What?
He's not going to. All right, next touchdown scorer you have is over yards. Why not sprinkle the touchdown
No,
on there?
I'm not sprinkling. This is a weekly bet.
Oh.
Cup gets bet every week.
Cup is getting hammered.
Cup's gonna cup.
I mean, I don't know why not.
Yeah, I don't know why not either. We talked about Cooper Kupp and how he's probably going to explode
He's
this
good.
week. Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, that's it.
He's all right. Cooper Kupp.
That's it. Ken Walker.
He's all right.
He could be good. I just think that, whenever these sort of situations happen where there's, 2 guys that are both like kind of good, but like getting in each other's way, when one of them gets hurt, the other one just explodes.
Yeah.
At least in that first game, just as a fuck you to the other guy.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I just feel like
Ken Walker is a rookie. This is his shot to get the starting job.
Yeah.
I feel like Ken Walker always has that chip on his shoulder, even in college,
Yeah, and he's really good.
He was a dark horse Heisman candidate the
Yeah.
entire year. He thought he was going to win the thing, but I think
thought he
he's
should
really
have.
good.
I mean, look how bad Michigan State is this year. He probably should have won
He
it.
carried that team
Yeah.
last year to 10 wins?
And he's going to carry the Seahawks into the end zone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, at least one time.
Maybe not to wins, but in the end zone.
Nick Chubb.
He's been playing really well.
This is similar to Cooper Kupp here and Deebo Samuel.
He's Nick
he's
Chubb.
good.
Nick Chubb.
He's good.
He is Nick Chubb.
He is Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
And
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
I just want to say the shootout TD parlay hit last week. Kelsey and Devontae Adams. I wasn't really thinking this, but the obvious play was obviously Kelsey 4 touchdowns. Devontae
Yeah,
2 touchdowns. That would have been, easy money.
Right,
there.
obvious.
That should have been the easy money leg.
Right.
Last week.
Devontae,
2 touchdowns. Kelsey 4 touchdowns. It was obvious.
This week I like the slate that we got.
Yeah.
Stephon, Gabe, and Travis.
Yeah, I'm scared that Kelsey isn't going to score, but
after the 4?
yeah,
Could
but
be silly.
I feel like
He's going to have 15 yards and 3 touchdowns.
that's exactly. And then I already bet on Diggs and Davis.
100 yards.
It's all happening.
Yeah.
This is the game. It's all happening. And I really wanted to throw Clyde Edwards-Helaire into here,
That'd be fun.
but that felt like it was irresponsible.
That's 4 touchdowns.
That's a little much.
Yeah.
In the same shootout.
Yeah, exactly. And I was
That's a little
also thinking
much.
about adding both quarterbacks rushing.
Oh,
6
wow.
touchdown parlay.
6 touchdown parlay.
Wow.
That's as many.
That's already
field goals as we saw in the Colts
42
game.
points.
No, we
to
saw
come.
7.
Oh, wow.
It was 4-3.
We saw 7 field goals
Yeah.
in the Colts Broncos.
But that's why I had to hold off.
Yeah, couldn't just send it right away.
No.
So moving on, we didn't have this segment last week because
That's bad.
Jimmy was out with COVID-like symptoms.
Yeah.
But it's officially back. We got named that Hall of Famer. Last week we kind of threw the stats on a ticker. This week we have them up for you to see on the screen. So, Jimmy, you want to go through these stats?
Yeah, absolutely. So player 1, 12 years played, 750 receptions, almost 12,000 receiving yards with 65 touchdowns. They won Offensive Player of the Year once. They were first team All-Pro once, second team All-Pro twice, 3-time Super Bowl champion, and they made the Pro Bowl 5 times. Player 2 played for 11 years. He had 920 receptions, about 13,400 yards, 85 touchdowns, one-time Offensive Player of the Year, one-time first-team All-Pro, one-time second-team All-Pro, 2 Super Bowl appearances, one-time Super Bowl champion, and he's a 7-time Pro Bowler. Player 3 played 12 years. He has 883 receptions, 13,406 yards, 61 touchdowns, one-time Player of the Year, 2-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time second-team All-Pro, 1-time Super Bowl appearance, and 7 Pro Bowls.
All right, so I kind of have a feeling at who player 3 might be. Did he play for the Cardinals?
He did not.
Ooh, I was thinking maybe Larry
Did
Fitzgerald.
one of these players play for the Vikings?
No.
Oh, wow.
None of these guys played for the Vikings.
So let's start with the eras. So player 1, when did this guy play?
Player 1, he played in the, I want to say 80s, early 80s to like the early 90s.
Okay.
Player 2, he played from like the late 90s to about the early 2000s, mid 2000s. And then player 3, I mean, should I say?
Is in the league right now.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. So 12 years from player 3.
Yeah.
With a Super Bowl appearance. So who
It has to be a receiver, and
Right.
they have 13,000 yards.
Yeah. 1
Um,
Super Bowl appearance.
yeah, no victory.
No
that means they lost it probably to Tom Brady.
Oh, is that Julio?
One might think it is Julio.
Okay.
Okay, so player 3.
You said Tom Brady, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, interesting.
Player
Okay.
3 is Julio.
Yep.
So player 2 played in the late 90s to early 2000s.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, they won an offensive
They
player of
won
the year.
and lost a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I was going to say T.O., but he never won a Super Bowl.
No, he lost to Tom Brady, believe it or not.
So late
funny.
90s to early 2000s, didn't play past 2010.
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
Pretty sure no.
Is
I think
it,
last year he played was like 2009, I want to say, but he was not very active.
is it Plaxico Burress?
It is not.
Oh, wait, no. He has 2 Super Bowl wins.
Oh, yeah.
Or just one.
Might just be one.
Just one, because he shot himself. In the foot.
Yeah, he did shoot
Yeah.
himself in the foot.
Yeah.
920 receptions. I mean, 85 touchdowns.
True.
This might be our Hall of Famer.
I mean, it feels like it, right?
First team All Pro, second team All Pro. They lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I don't know.
Think
There's
about
so many
early 2000s
yards.
Super Bowl.
It has to be someone that was
Rams.
prolific.
Yes, it was the Rams.
Oh, was it
Rams.
Steve Holt?
Close.
Someone
You
like
had
that?
the last name right.
Torrey Holt.
Yeah,
Wow.
Torrey Holt.
Steve Holt's
Player
probably
2
a
is
real
Torrey
person.
Holt in the Hall of Fame.
We'll have to find out once you get
Oh,
player 1.
wow.
Okay, so player 1, 12 years,
Won the Super Bowl 3 times.
80s to 90s.
Oh, this is a
Yes.
Dallas receiver.
Michael Irvin.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's the Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So Michael Irvin, that's our guy.
that's
Wow.
our guy.
We've
Torrey
done it.
Holt. Torrey Holt is an absolute snub in the Hall of
Yeah,
Fame.
that's crazy. He has way better
He is
stats.
snub.
Yeah, look at these stats. Torrey
And
Holt, more Pro Bowls.
Julio's going to be in the Hall of Fame as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Torrey Holt based on
How did he
those
score so
numbers.
many touchdowns?
He was just a
The
touchdown.
greatest
machine.
show on turf.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
Like,
He was
really
kind of like
good.
Cooper Cup before Cooper Cup.
he was
Yeah.
pre-cup.
He was
Cup.
pre-cup.
Pre-cup. Wow. So I think Torrey Holt should be in the Hall of Fame. Can we see
Yeah,
the movement?
Absolutely.
I mean, because Michael Irvin's obviously a Hall of Famer. He's a playmaker.
He is the playmaker.
I mean, I love when he goes on Stephen A's show, First Take.
Yes, absolutely.
He's always electric on
Stephen A's World.
there. Yeah, he's always playmaking all over
Actually,
the place.
we're gonna edit that out. We don't do free advertising.
Sorry, no free.
We
ads.
don't veer credit
Yeah.
to other podcasts or shows.
I
on
mean,
this
I will
show.
say, like, I do have to give some respect to Stephen A. He's the best in the game
He
right now.
is. He is.
He does like 20 hours of TV a day. He
Yes.
sleeps for like maybe 2 hours.
I mean, we've done 1 hour of TV so far, so
And
Yeah.
we're ready to be done.
and I'm tired.
So
I need
a lot.
with that being said,
I think it's time to head out.
Yeah.
Peace.
smell you later.